it or play. A lot depends on what you say on Card Shark. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jeanne.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Delighted to have you here with us in the studio, and delighted to have you join us at home. Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. And the opening poem, we want to thank Mrs. Thomas Prothrow. I wonder if that's the football Tommy Prothrow. Mrs. Thomas Prothrow of El Paso, Texas, watching on KTSM TV Channel 9. Thank you, Mrs. Prothrow. Now let's open the board and get to the cards. Go ahead. And Janice and Chris will load them in, and we'll meet our Card Sharks. Dave Zingle, our champion. Hi, Dave.
Hi,
nice
Jim.
to see you again. And again, a little reminder about you.
Well, I'm Dave Zingle from Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm enjoying every single day of my extended vacation in California.
Came out here for a vacation, and he stayed to the tune of $18,350 in cash. Good player.
Nice vacation.
We are meeting our challenger for the first time, Jeanne Lee. Hello, Jeanne. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
And won't you tell us about you?
I'm from Newhall, California, and I'm a retired production engineer.
Retired?
Yes, that just means I've stopped producing children.
Oh, I see. All right.
I have 2 children.
Well, that's enough, right?
You're even more handsome in person.
Well, thank you. Thank you. What a perceptive lady. Nice to have you. You both got the cards?
Yes.
We did.
All right, let's get to business. Best 2 games out of 3 starts with a question to Dave, the champion. Dave, we asked 100 child psychiatrists. Generally speaking, do parents today put too much pressure on their children to succeed? How many child psychiatrists think parents today do put too much pressure on their children to
that's
succeed?
definitely a high number. I think a lot of parents want their children to succeed, and there's always a thing about them, the children, doing better than the parents. They want them to have a better life. So I'd say that would be about 71.
71 out of 100. Jeanne, higher or lower?
Well, I want my child, both of my children, to succeed, and man, do I pound them. I guess that's, I was raised that way, too. I think it's a little bit lower. I mean, a little bit higher, rather.
A little higher than
Yes.
that. Even higher than that.
Yes.
If it is higher, you'll play your cards. If not, it'll be Dave with his. Anytime you hit the answer on the head, a $500 bonus. I think we all want the best for our children, but the question is, do they push too much? Child psychiatrists are good people to ask. Let's find out. The actual number of child psychiatrists who think parents today put too much pressure on their children to succeed is 42. Not higher, it's lower. Too much pressure, I think, was the key to that question. Now then, Dave, of course, the object of the game to work your way across the board. Remember, if you can run them in one play without freezing, that is a $500 bonus as well. Let's see if we can get you started with a good base card. You won the question. A 6.
Change the card.
You win the question, you can change it. A 10.
Lower.
Lower than a 10.
Oh.
No, an ace is not lower. And he's back at the base card. Jeanne with a free chance at a 3.
Higher.
Higher than a 3. A jack.
Lower.
Lower than a jack. An 8.
Freeze.
Freezing on the middle card. That takes care of Jeanne's $500 run, but she is protected here. Needs 2 cards for the game. And your first question. Jeanne, we asked 100 men. Which would upset you more? Losing your job to another person or losing your job to a machine? How many men would be more upset to lose their job to a machine?
Well, my dear is a al macho person, so losing it to another man, losing it to a machine.
Yes, I would be more upset if they lost their job to a machine.
I think that would be very, very high, so it'd be about 75.
75. You think
Yes.
that would hurt his macho image more than losing it to another man, huh?
I'm sorry, would you repeat the question again?
Sure. How many men would be more upset to lose their job to a machine rather than another man? You said 75.
Okay, yeah, I would stay with that, 75.
Okay, all right.
Definitely
Dave?
not. Definitely not. I think a man could more accept losing to a machine than a man, because if another man comes in, generally he's a better person, and it makes him feel worse. So I say that number would be lower.
Lower than that. The actual number of men who would be more upset to lose their job to a machine is 54. Dave is right. It is lower.
Change
Now,
it.
Dave can get rid of that 10. He's not even waiting for me to get
Good
over
card.
here. Jack, a little
Lower.
better. Lower than a jack. A 5. Higher than a 5. A 7. Now it's Dave with the tie. He has a 7. Jeanne has an 8. And the question goes to Dave. Question 3. We asked 100 single women across the country, Dave, if a woman has known a man for only 1 week, is it okay for her to go away with him for the weekend? How many women said yes, said a lady who probably hasn't been away from the house in weeks, right? How many women said, even if a woman has known a man for only a week, it is okay for her to go away with him for the weekend?
Oh, a lot of that has to do with the relationship between the man and the woman. I think that's going to be a low number. I'd say 45.
45 out of 100 after 1 week said it is okay. Jeannie?
Gee, I wish someone would ask me. No, I think it's a little bit higher.
Little
because
higher than
I would
that.
like to be asked.
We'd like to be asked, so higher. The actual number of women who said even if a woman has only known a man for a week, it is okay for her to go away with him for the weekend is 62. Jeannie is right. It is higher. 62. Jeannie, you've got that middle card. Now she can get rid of that middle card, winning the question with a 9. Just a little better.
Lower.
Lower than a 9. A 2. If it's higher, the first game of the match to the challenger, yes! Jeannie got a great card, that 2, and she has game 1. Now the champion has to make a comeback. Can he do it? We'll find out after this.
Let's face it, ladies. Not all of us are satisfied with our small bust size. But we're not left with many options. For years, our only choice was to live with small breasts, use artificial padding, or have very expensive surgical implants, taking the chance of losing feeling in our breasts, or worse, having them feel too hard.
Game 1 goes to the challenger, and now as we set up for game 2, same 2 decks of cards. Next card's off the top of the deck. And again, anytime it's a 5-card game, if you can run them, a $500 bonus. Jeannie, we asked 100 women who are millionaires. Ooh. If a lady millionaire, listen to this, if a lady millionaire divorces her penniless husband, should she be required to pay him alimony? How many women millionaires said, a lot of male voices on that, yeah. How many women millionaires said a lady millionaire should be required to pay alimony to her penniless husband? And we asked lady millionaires.
Well, let's see. You know, when the husband has to do that, I really think that the wives should do that if, you know, if they're rich too. So it should be equal balance like that. I think it'll be about 56.
56 out of 100, Dave.
I think it's higher. I think it's higher because, you know, when a man divorces or when a woman divorces a man, the woman tries to get everything she can, and the man always ends up giving, and I think a woman would feel the same way deep down, and I say it'd be higher.
Tricky, though. We asked the women how they thought. Interesting. 56 and higher. The actual number of women millionaires who said she should be required to pay him alimony is 50. Ooh. Not higher. It's lower. Jeannie, half of them did, however. Half of them. Okay. Jeannie, you start this game with a king.
Lower.
Lower than a king. A 3. Higher than a 3. A 7.
Freeze.
I was about to ask if you were thinking about a $500 run there. Question to Dave. Dave, our man on the street, went to a small city in Japan where he asked 100 Japanese women who are senior citizens, is it a woman's duty to have children? How many Japanese senior citizens said, yes, it is a woman's duty to have children?
I think because they're senior citizens, because a lot of them still have the traditional values, I'd say that number will be high, probably 61.
61 out of 100, Jeannie.
Well, you know, just because I have slanted eyes doesn't mean I came from Japan. Golly, I think it would be a little bit higher. Just
even
a little
higher,
bit higher.
You think even
because
more?
I like chillins, too.
Spoken as now a retired baby maker, right? 61 and higher. The actual number of Japanese senior citizen women who said it is a woman's duty to have children is 86. Jeannie is right. Senior citizens, I think, the key to that. Jeannie got a 7. Big change. She needs 2 cards for the championship with a queen. Lower than a queen. A jack. We have a new champion if this card is lower. No. Back to the base card. It was a good thing you were frozen there because you might have gone a lot farther back. Dave is still in it with a 10. You did not win the question. Okay. You cannot. Lower. Jeannie was already telling you can't do that. Lower, he says. No, an ace is not lower. I don't know if you can see it at home, but as soon as he said change it, Jeannie said, you can't do that. Janice is pulling in his faces. Jeannie, we asked 100 Protestant ministers, do you think magazines like Playboy have a harmful effect on people's morals? How many Protestant ministers said girly magazines do harm people's morals?
Oh, my adopted dad's a Presbyterian minister, and he reads Playboy. So Well,
Must
but
be an
that's
interesting parish he's got there, Jeannie.
that's 100. Oh, well, let's see. I would say about 45.
45 out of
Yeah.
100 ministers said yes, they do harm people's morals.
I think it's a little higher. I think because of their tradition and because of their religion and their beliefs, higher.
Higher than that. The actual number of Protestant ministers who think girly magazines do harm people's morals is 88. Very much higher. Very much higher. Now you can change it. Jeannie, is it okay if I...
Pretty please.
Okay. Changing to 10.
Give me a
to a 5.
Higher.
Higher than a 5. A king.
Lower.
Lower than a king. A 6.
Please.
You were looking. What prompted you to stop there?
Oh, I was looking at Jeannie's cards.
Sudden death is coming up, and that's what I thought he was looking at, because now both players need 2 cards. We'll find out who wins it right after this.
He never wrote a book.
Maybe like Jeannie, you can come in and tell your opponent what the rules are. Absolutely. Game 1 went to Jeannie, the challenger. And now in Game 2, Dave with a 6 needs 2 cards. Jeannie with a better base card, a queen, needs also 2 cards. Sudden death, someone has to win this game on this play of the cards. Control, very important. Dave, we found 100 newlywed men. Now, these are all men who have been married less than 6 months. And we asked them, is marriage fattening? How many newlywed men said they have put on weight since they got married?
Well, you know, I have an edge. I got married in November, and I would definitely say that marriage puts on the weight. I mean, in between the curricular activities. But I would say that number
Notice
would
he
be...
said the curricular activities.
I didn't want to say extracurricular. I'd say that number would be about 75.
75 out of 100 said, yeah, they did get a little heavier.
Well, I know my dear was just a beanpole, and now, well, he's not too fat, but a little bit more because he loves rice, and I like tortillas. But anyway, I would say a little bit higher.
Rice and tortillas. What do you have for dessert there with rice and tortillas? That's more heavy stuff?
No, ice cream.
Ice cream, okay. 75 and higher. The actual number of newlywed men who said marriage is fattening is 73, not higher, just a little lower. Dave gets control in sudden death. Dave, you need 2 cards. Jeannie needs 2. Play or pass?
I want to change that card and play.
You're going to try to do it yourself. So this is a big change, because once we change
Good
it, you've
card,
got to
please.
turn them both over. A 4.
Higher!
Higher than a 4. And ace! Lower to tie it up. Yes! Dave made the right call and ties things up. Now, each player with 1 game to set up for the tiebreaker. We are down to the wire. 3 cards up there, 3 questions here, starting the tiebreaker with Jeannie. Jeannie, we asked 100 policemen. In your experience, who is more likely to resist arrest, a man or a woman? How many policemen said a man is more likely to resist arrest?
Well, I, as a woman, especially when a bigger prison, because I'm a shrimp, would approach me and say, you're under arrest. I'd say, okay, that's it. So I would say a man, because my husband used to be an ex-sheriff, so I would say a man. Would you repeat the question?
Sure. How many policemen said that a man is more likely to resist arrest?
Okay, I would say a high number, about 62.
62 out of 100 policemen felt the man is more likely to resist.
I'll say just a bit higher, Jim.
Higher than that. The actual number of policemen who said a man is more likely to resist arrest is 82. It is higher. Dave gets that all-important control in the tiebreaker, starting with a 7.
Change it.
Very big change for the champion. A queen is better. Lower than a queen. A 7.
Higher.
Taking a chance on the near-middle card. He is the champion once again. If it's higher, yes! Dave does it with a big ace. Oh, close match. Jeannie, thank you for joining us. You have a
so
delightful
much.
sense of humor.
Thank you so
And we have
much.
$100 for you and some nice party gifts. Thank you,
Okay.
Jeannie Lee. And now Dave Zingle, come on down here with me. And Jeannie, if you'll head off that way so you don't get tripped up in any machinery. Back with our champion, and I believe this is Dave's 7th time to the money cards, right? So this is your last crack at it. Let's make it a good one. You've been a fine champion. Let's top it off with the best money cards yet. You cut them?
Yes, I did.
Let's get over. Yes?
7 is lucky.
7 is lucky. I hope so. Let's do it right now. Come on, Dave. Of course, you haven't been unlucky. Over $18,000 up to now. But who's counting? Yes. $200, 3 cards, the bet as you will. Another $200 on the next level, 3 more cards. You know those minimum bets $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet, where you must risk at least half. Good luck, Dave. You've been a fine champion. Let's top off your 7th and last money cards with a big one. Remember, you don't lose on a double. We'll carry it over, and here's $200.
Good card.
You can change the base card on each level if you need to. Thank you, Chris. We'll start Dave off with $200.
Good card.
And a 9.
Change it. Change it.
Only change it once. You must
Good
play
card.
this one. Ooh, starting
I'll
right
say
up the middle.
$50 lower.
And now the minimum bet. Let's get it much lower. $50 lower. No. Another 150 with a 10.
That's okay. I'm going to say $50 lower.
Again, $50 and again lower.
No.
Down to 100.
All of it lower.
All right, now we get back to 200 if this card is lower than a queen. Yes! Well, you got back where you started on that level, and as we move up the 5, we give you the other 200.
Change it. Change that card.
Come on, you deserve a good card now. $400
Good card.
with 4
Come on,
cards to
good card.
go. And a 6.
$100 higher.
$100. Higher than a 6.
No. That's okay.
First good card, though. 300 and a 2.
All of it higher.
This will be $600 if this is higher. Yeah!
Yes.
Another queen.
$500 lower.
$1,100 if this is lower.
Oh!
It's like this whole money cards went backwards for you, Dave, but it's a great card. Another $200 would not be bad if you just say the right words.
Lower. All of it.
All right.
All
$200
lower.
if this is lower. Yeah! Why couldn't that have come down before? Doggone it. But Dave, you added another $200. You've been a fine, fine champion. And Dave Single finishes with $18,750. Say hello to our friends and hearts.
I really enjoyed
You've been a fine champion. You're very analytical. Good player. We'll have 2 new challenges coming at you right after we take time out for this commercial break. Very good, Dave. You notice he got nervous reading that one? I find that interesting. 2 brand new decks of cards. Here comes 2 challengers on Card Shark. Jeff Rios is first. Hi, Jeff.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. And won't you tell us about you, sir?
My name is Jeff Rios. I live in San Mateo, California, which is just south of San Francisco. I'm a student, broadcasting student at San Francisco State University, and if I had a choice of being anywhere right now today, this would be it.
Well, that's nice. So you're hoping for a career in broadcasting when you get out?
Yes, I'd like to do maybe what you're doing.
Good. All right, nice to have you here with us, Jeff. And we're also meeting Peggy Card. Hi, Peggy. Nice to meet
Hi.
you. And won't you tell us about you?
Sure. I'm married and I have a wonderful little daughter and another one on the way, obviously. And I'm a flute player and I'm a baseball fanatic.
Yeah. Oh, your time of year now, huh?
Yes, it is.
Who do you root for?
Dodgers.
The Dodgers? All right.
Definitely.
Nice to have you both here. Now, we had a coin toss to decide who was playing red and who was playing blue. And, of course, it is Jeff playing the red. As we start the best 2 out of 3 with a question to Jeff. Jeff, now we all know that men rate women on a scale of beauty from 1 to 10.
Sure do.
With 10, of course, being the best.
Yes.
So we asked 100 bachelors, have you ever dated a woman who looked like a perfect 10, only to discover that 5 of her was padding? How many bachelors have dated a 10, only to find out that 5 of her was padding?
You know, a lot of bachelors spend a lot of time in bars, and in bars, they usually, the cocktail wait, I always do this, have a lot of padding in their outfits, and they try to pick up the waitresses. If they get one home, they're going to find out that possibly they have a lot of padding. But I think that it's probably a slower, not quite a middle number, about 52.
52.
52.
Out of 100, say, yeah, that's happened to them,
Okay.
bachelors.
Well, I think that the natural look is in now, or that's what I've heard anyway. And so I think the number's going to be slightly lower.
Lower than that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you date a 10 and half of it turns out to be padding, the next date you go out with the chest of drawers, I guess, to get 52 and lower. The actual number of bachelors who've dated a 10 only to find out that 5 of her was padding is 33. Peggy's right.
Good.
Natural look is
Okay.
in. Peggy wins the question. Nicely solved. Peggy with a queen.
Okay, I'm going to make it lower.
Lower than a queen. An 8.
I'm going to freeze.
Raising on the middle card, taking the 1 card advantage, and we'll be right back with these 2 fine challengers right after this.
Gene Rayburn's greatest openings.
Well, that's all the time we have for now, so we'll invite Jeff and Peggy back on our next Card Sharks to finish the match. Actually, you really should join us for that, because I just found out that Peggy is expecting very, very shortly, within the next week or 2. So if she wins a game, you could see a television first. So come back and join us. We have some people with us from Salem, New Hampshire, and a group, the Downey Rebecca Lodge in Downey, California, with us. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on Card Sharks.
I'm Gary Collins. Hey, what the blank is going on here? What the blank is he doing? What kind of a blanking show is this, anyways? I don't believe this blank. Hey, I know her and him. They're blanking hilarious. Oh, get a load of this blank. Holy blank, this is funny. What a great blanking idea for a game show. Match Game. You'll laugh your blank off. Weekdays at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Game Show Network.